I wasn't fired. I was laid off. I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. This wedding is horse. The number of times that I have said this wedding is horse in my life is high. And that's one of the most, I think that's one of the lines that I quote the most from this movie. We just became best friends, and this wedding is horse. We go into like alternating. The kids are mad at their parents because they are all moving in together. And Brennan says that he's never going to call him dad. Never, ever. Robert better not get in my face because I'll drop that MFer. Jeez, that's a great part. Brennan? Yeah. Before we get to them at the dinner table, like the 2 boys face off in the lawn, and that's where he's like, I'm Brennan, I'm Dale, but you have to call me Dragon. You have to call me Nighthawk.
Yes.
And Nancy tells the whole table that Brennan is a gifted singer, and that's where we get another one of my favorite quotes. I've been called the songbird of my generation.
Yes.
Which we will return back to when he eventually sings. Later in the movie, Dale sings the crotch song. Which I completely forgot about.
Yep.
Brennan says, that's cute. I remember my first beer. Which I don't think that's where I first heard that. There were a couple quotes in this movie where I'm like, surely I heard that before Step Brothers.
Yeah, maybe.
I would think so.
And then said, last time I heard that, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur.
Yes.
And then Brennan starts crying.
And then they go tour the house, and Dale is showing Brennan around his house because it is his house that was built in 1985 by General Custer.
By General Custer.
He sees the office and the Beat Laboratory, and we're introduced to the drum set. And the one rule of the house is never, ever, ever, ever touch my drum set. No touching. And it has this era of like the drum set is clearly going to be a character of its own within this movie.
Yes.
Robert is looking at maps with a magnifying glass in bed, and Nancy asks why Dale never left home. And he says that he left college in his junior year to join the family business. Robert is a medical doctor, and Dale would always say, it's always who you know, even though it was a medical, didn't need to go to school, didn't need to do anything. So you get an understanding of both of these boys. Like Dale and Brennan are lying together in bed. It's their first night in their new house. Their beds are next to each other. And he goes, are you awake? I just want you to know I hate you. And then he says, I hate you too. And this house sucks ass. The only reason you're living here is because my dad and I decided your mom is really hot. Another great quote, which Dale asks Brennan why he's so sweaty. And he says, I was watching Cops. I was watching Cops. Dale goes upstairs, sees his drumsticks have been moved. Hey man, did you touch my drum set? It's weird because it seems like someone touched my drum set. Swear on your mom's life that you didn't touch it. I know Cops didn't start till 4.
Yeah, Cops doesn't start till 4.
And like Nancy comes home, she's trying to stop them with a hose.
She's got the water.
And she finally snaps and she goes, what the effing F?
Okay, that is one
which
of my
I say
favorite,
all the time.
That's
one of mine too.
Yes, that is one that is held up. The baseball bat and the golf club to each other head. She still got that. She goes, what the F?
They're losing television for a week, and the remote is going in the safe, and they go, this house is a prison. I used to say that anytime my parents would tell me something I wasn't allowed to do. They officially become friends. He says, listen, I know that we started out as a foe, but after that courageous act that you showed me against Derek, maybe someday we could become friends who ride majestic, translucent steeds shooting flaming arrows across the bridge of Hemdale. And Dale goes, I know what you mean. I would follow you into the mists of Avalon. And so begins their beautiful friendship. On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. Velociraptor. Favorite non-porn magazine to masturbate to. Good Housekeeping. If you were a chick, who's the one guy you'd sleep with? John Stamos. Did we just become best friends? And You Make My Dream starts playing, and they do karate in the garage, and you get a montage of karate, and they put Mentos in Pepsi, and Nancy hears them laughing and is happy, and Robert hears them laughing and says, I have a very bad feeling about this, because Robert knows what's up. Does your son know anything about carpentry? No. And you hear power tools, and they build bunk beds, all the floor space, so many room for activities, and then the bunk beds fall.
Yep.
And rumpus time is over.
Yeah, there's so much blood. There's blood everywhere.
Another one. There's blood everywhere, and it's like a small cut on his arm, which is perfect. Then we get to hear Brennan sing for the first time, which is incredible.
Choosing Bonnie Raitt, let's give him something to talk about.
Let's give him something to talk about. Dale starts to cry.
Is an interesting choice.
Brennan assumes he's going to get made fun of, so he starts making excuses, which is like what every singer does. They're like, I've had a sore throat for a couple weeks. This isn't an acoustic environment.
And a half?
This isn't an acoustic environment that is suitable for my voice. And then Dale says, Brennan, that is the voice of an angel. You can't even make eye contact. Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. I say that at least every 2 weeks.
Fergie and Jesus.
Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. They go back out to the table, and Brennan and Dale begin their presentation, roll out a once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity for prestige worldwide. You get the full song and the music video for Boats and Hoes.
Yeah.
Halfway through, you realize who's steering the boat. It's Robert's boat, and the boat crashes, and the boat is...
I think a couple things here that I think things from this movie that still hold up, that, that have stood the test of time. We've obviously gotten through like so many activities. It's something that still holds up. Boats obviously still hold up. Boats are still cool to this day. And I think Boats and Hoes.
I do too.
Who doesn't love Boats and Hoes?
And the guys are in the back and they're like, well, aside from the damage to the boat, what did you guys think of the presentation? These kids are the dumbest in the world. Nancy says they showed enthusiasm and inventiveness. Robert is like, they destroyed our dream, and you call him inventive. Dale asks if he's going to invest, and Robert dives into the back seat. He freaks out going into the house. He says that they're all failures. Brennan says, you're embarrassing yourself, you geriatric F. Keep your leopard-spotted hands off my beautiful mother. She's a saint.
Yes.
Another one that's easily quotable. Nancy asks Robert why he's giving up on their children, and he says, because they're almost 40. And then they're sleepwalking again, and they're throwing Christmas presents. And you never, ever, ever wake a sleepwalker. And they throw the Christmas tree, and Robert wakes them up, and they start attacking him, and they throw him down the stairs. Robert and Nancy announce that they are splitting up. And Brennan and Dale are like, no, is it our fault? And it is a classic, like, children being told by their parents that their parents are getting a divorce, and the parents trying to say it's not your fault. But in this case, we've been watching an hour of this movie so far, and we know it is absolutely 1 trillion% the fault of Brennan and Dale. And they're like, we don't want you to blame yourselves, but they should absolutely blame themselves. And Robert is like, let's cut. It's directly your fault.
And he hits him over the head with the symbol.
Hits him with the symbol. Everything started again. Dale knocks him out. He thinks he's dead, so he goes to bury him. He's not really dead. I use ninja focus to slow my heart rate down, says Brennan as he comes back up. Brennan, so grown up that he decides at work he wants to take on the Catalina wine mixer.
I want to make bank,
whoa, slow down, Speed Racer.
I want to get ass. I want to drive a Range Rover.
I'm ready. I'm walking tall.
Snapping necks, cashing checks.
Randy says, I don't know what it is about your face, and Randy's played by Rob Riggles. I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to put one of these right in your sock hole. And Brennan goes, is there anything I can do to work on that? And it feels so corporate. Like Brennan's been taken down by the man.
Yeah, he has.
He is just a businessman now. He's running the Catalina wine mixer, and even if someone wants to punch him in the face, he won't fight back. It is simply, how can I improve my performance?
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.